paying on time makes a credible commish. Hey, I need a few weeks to pay you your winnings and whatnot. And it's like, shouldn't it be there?
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the Credible Commish, a series celebrating the backbone of fantasy sports, commissioners who run their leagues the right way. Now, this might be different than the rest of the episodes because today we have a special guest. His name is Anthony, but he goes by Crooked Commish. So let's see what we've got in store for this episode. How you doing, man?
Good, good, man. How are you doing? Thank you for having a guy with a name like that on your show and stuff. I really don't let the name fool you. I'm really an okay kind of guy. So,
I mean, someone that's upfront. I think honesty is a good thing about being credible commish. So, you've got one check mark there. uh,
yeah, no, and really, this name was kind of thrown on me from, my league mates running it, and it's really just doing mundane stuff. It's just setting a date, trying to collect fees. You know what I mean? And it's just like I don't know if that really makes me crooked, but they need a reason for why their teams are not going the way they expected it to go. So.
yeah. I see that now. Yeah, for sure. Any misstep is like, oh, that date is easier for you. That's yeah, you're so crooked. I see it.
Right, right.
Awesome, awesome. We got to know a little bit behind the name, but on the show, we like to get to know the person behind the commissioner. So tell us, where are you from and who is your football team and why?
I am from Arizona originally, uh, so I was born and raised really. Where I get my fandom and love for Chicago is from my father. He is from Chicago and whatnot, so it kind of rubbed off on me as a kid and stuff growing up. So didn't get to see many Chicago games, but my father, being a Chicago Bear fan, he is sought them out and stuff, looked for a way to find them and stuff. So right in the 90s, DirecTV was just coming on, so that was his like ticket right there to get us those Bear games.
Nice, man. It seems like you're in a good spot. The Bears are looking like a very promising team for years to come. And you mentioned Arizona. I did see on your TikTok page, you've got a lot of U of A content. You may not know, but I've got it's right there. I think you can see it.
Hmm.
Fellow Wildcat alum. Are you? What's your ties there?
So yeah, I actually grew up in Tucson. I was born in Nogales and kind of did my grade school years there, but we moved over to Tucson right when I was doing eighth grade high school years, and then I kind of spent a good amount of time there. So I was right in the thick of it, right there when the Wildcats took that national championship in '97 and became the Cool Cats there. So that was my high school years.
Oh,
So
that's
it
fantastic.
was awesome. That was an awesome team. That was a very awesome experience and stuff. Being down by the U of A during that time, so I was really hoping and excited that they were going to be able to do it again. But man, oh man,
Oh,
Michigan just kind of had our way with us. That is definitely not the way I thought the game overall would go. I
right.
thought it would be a close game, and it was just a shellacking.
I mean, they had their way with everyone, so they well deserved Michigan. But
Yeah.
I'm happy that we got over the Elite Eight hump. So hopefully next year we just win the championship. It's Tommy Lloyd gonna be a great coach for years to come. So super excited for Wildcats. You mentioned the '90s. Your dad, big Bears fan. Can you recall like what is your earliest football memory?
Oh man, earliest football memory. It's definitely involving just watching the Bears. My first Bears QB was Jim Hardball, and the connection between him and Tom Waddle. I remember that was my earliest football memory. Is like, man, whenever the Bears are in third and whatever, the go-to guy seemed to be the Tom Waddle, and he always seemed to be Mr. Reliable when he was on the field. I know he did have his fair share of concussions and whatnot. But Tom Waddle, Neil Anderson is the kind of my first memories of watching football and kind of scoring, and then of course having to deal with that gunslinger Brett Favre, year in and year out. And, that as well is my early football memories and stuff.
Oh, that's fantastic, man. Have you gone to any Chicago Bears games like on Soldier Field? Anything like that?
I have not. It's definitely on my bucket list. I have been able to go to Chicago a few times and visit, but the occasions that I am visiting, football season's not, going on and stuff. So, been able to check out Wrigley Field. That was one of the things on my bucket list. So I am a Cubs fan, not a Sox fan there. But yeah, that is something on my to-do list, for sure.
Oh, fantastic.
Hopefully before they even move out of Indiana. So hopefully that doesn't happen, but that that does seem
Yeah.
like it seems to be the trend. So hopefully I can get in over there within the next 3 years.
Yeah, how's I mean, I know you're not from the area, but what's a general like sense of Chicago fans? Like how do they feel about that move?
Yeah, well, I do a show on Tuesday nights. I produce a show with Chicago Clubhouse Network, and we do a lot of Bears content there. And the vibes in the clubhouse is they're not really thrilled about going to Indiana. Um, Not
Sure.
that they're worried about the name being changed from Chicago to Indiana, but it just honestly, it just doesn't taste the same. I mean, it just won't taste the same. You know, so we'll see. Well, hopefully, like I said, hopefully, like the Dark Knight. You know what I mean? Something can happen in the late witching hours. And keep the Bears at least in the state of Illinois. But
Yeah,
if they go to Indiana, I guess so be it. I mean, what can we really do?
I know it's so odd even from an outsider's perspective. But you'll go by the way of like New York Giants and the New York Jets. They're not really in New York, but um, we'll see. We'll see.
And you know what's interesting is I actually ran into a Packers fan. He saw me in my get up and whatnot, and he's
Mm,
like, and he kind of shook his head, and it's kind of like, man, Indiana Bears. He's like, this just doesn't have the same ring. He's like, I'm a Packers fan, and I don't even want to see you guys go to Indiana. I was
uh,
like, well, I mean that I never thought I'd hear the day. You know what I mean? That's interesting. There, that's your rival doesn't even want you to go.
yeah, yeah, that says a lot. Hopefully, they'll probably keep Chicago, but not even mention Indiana. But that's at least what I think will happen. But you never know.
Yeah,
Interesting times.
we shall
So
see.
let's move off of those interesting times. Let's move off and get more into fantasy, the game that we love. Um,
Mm.
how did you first become a commissioner?
Well, obviously being involved in a lot of leagues and playing and whatnot, and um, a lot of the times, I think with as commissioners, most commissioners have a tendency or kind of something inside them of like, I want it to be my way. I love fantasy. I like playing it, but I don't quite like being in a non PPR type of league. But it's just things like that to where you kind of get the itch of like, man, I feel like if I can run the league or if I had my own league and whatnot, that I could kind of maybe run things a bit better. You also run into things with other leagues where other commissioners maybe aren't as active or participant. They could be whether it be somebody not starting their lineup or setting their lineup week in and week out, and not even kind of wanting to take the time to reach out and talk to the guy to be like, hey, at the very least, set a starting lineup.
Yeah, yeah. How many leagues do you commish for now?
I commish in 4 leagues right now. So I started off with obviously the two, and then it's kind of just multiplied a little bit and stuff. So I try not to get like I feel like that's enough already, um,
Yeah,
but once people hear that you're a commissioner of a league, it's very easy to kind of get wrapped up and swept up, or at least be like, hey, can you co-commish? And then once you start doing that, all of a sudden if the other guy life happens, they drop out. It's just all of a sudden now you're running another league. So
Yeah, I guess that's the trap, right? They're like, "Ooh, we got somebody that wants to do this." But it also speaks to the quality of commissioning that you're bringing. So double-edged sword, so to speak.
I mean,
Um,
it's very true because I mean, in a way, the the league mates can oust you. I mean, like if you're not a good commissioner to where you're not paying out, you're not on people to set starting lineups and stuff like that, the league will die just from lack of participation in there and stuff, or the
mhm.
people just don't want to group come back and stuff because it's not enjoyable or it's there's no payoff at the end. So um, it, they do kind of control it in a bit to where they can kill the league very fast if they don't feel if they're not feeling you are doing your job or you're doing a good job running the league.
That's interesting you say that. Yeah, I completely agree. It's almost like, at the beginning we're talking about commissioning and you kind of trying to make it exactly how you want it. But the league also has a say in that too. So I'm glad you brought that up. What, I guess, what have you done with your leagues to make sure that that balance has been in a fair balance?
It, talking and communicating with your league mates is really the biggest thing.
Mhm.
Getting their perspective or opinions, I think, also matters. Doesn't mean you have to take everything they say and incorporate it into the league and stuff, but if it does make sense and you discuss it with some of the other league mates, and if the majority of them, if not all of them, say, yeah, that actually sounds kind of cool. I don't wouldn't mind that aspect, whether it be a let's change it to a keeper league or let's change it to a tight end premium, stuff like that. Um, instead of being so bullish and being like, no, 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 it's my league, it's my thing. This is how I want it. If you don't like it, you can kick rocks. And I just think if you do that enough, eventually you'll just have yourself only in the league to play with.
These leagues, these four leagues that you run, are they all like people you know in person, or do you have some that you've met in online communities?
Two of them are online communities. Um, so the majority of them are actually redrafts. I'm just got involved in the Dynasty League this last year, and I'm loving it.
There you go.
I wouldn't mind more of it and stuff. I'm not. That's one of the leagues I'm not commissioning in. That's literally the only league I'm not in, and stuff. The other ones are redrafts, but and it's we're kind of talking beforehand. Once you get that taste of Dynasty, it's kind of like, oh man, this is what I've been missing. Like, why haven't I not gotten involved in this, and stuff. But
Yeah,
these redraft leagues and being involved with these players, I've been involved with them so long, they are almost kind of grandfathered in a sense.
right, right. You For example, yeah, we were talking earlier. I'm mainly in dynasty leagues now. I have one redraft league, mainly because of the history there. It's my longest running league that I'm not a commissioner for, but it's still one of the most important leagues just because it's the group of guys. Like it's my home
Yeah.
league that I consider. So yeah, it's still important. But man, yeah, dynasty. Welcome to the dynasty world. 1 year in, it's that's an exciting time. Um,
Yeah.
Hopefully, you got something good. Did you get any good draft picks this year?
I mean, I being dynasty, kind of the different strategy of whether are you a competitor, are you in the middle, or are you a seller this year? I feel I made the playoffs last year. I feel my team is good enough to win this year.
Right.
Um, this year, I was able to get two first round picks.
Ooh.
Um, in the starter league last year, somebody offered me their 101, or not their 101, but just their first round pick. In this year's draft. They had a big hard on for Travis Hunter.
Oh.
So that
There you
I
go.
know. I know. Hey, they it was in the second round, they were kind of like, hey, let me get your second round pick and I'll give you my first round next year and an additional later round pick, this year. So I was like, hey, I'm good for that. Um,
It's a good move.
so Yeah, that ended up getting me the 104 this year, and then with my own draft pick, I had the 107 in a 12-man tight end premium. So I ended up going with Makai Lemon. I had a chance to get Mendoza, but I felt pretty good with having Josh Allen and Caleb Williams as my super flex, my two
Ooh,
QBs there. So
definitely sounds like
um,
you're contending this coming year. So good luck to you, sir.
yeah, yeah. And then with the seven, I got Jadarian Price, and
Ooh,
and
yes.
luckily it's not even one like those guys I don't need right now. Luckily, if they pop off and you know, great. But it's one of those where I don't feel like I need to have them in my starting lineup from the jump.
Hey, you know me as a Seahawks fan, I'm all aboard the Jadarian Price train. Um, more than others for sure, but that's awesome. Going back to the leagues that you commish, right? Have you had any big league controversies or drama?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, there's always well in the beginning, I should say, there is had the issue with people not being active, not setting a starting lineup, um, and then another league, similar situation. You have guys that realize they are not going to make the playoffs. They're essentially done, and then they start dropping their players.
Mm, mm,
So having to you have to be on top of that, always looking to see, what's going on, who made a drop and stuff. And then once you see that going on, kind of almost make a memo out to the league like, hey, I see the situation, I see what's going on. Do not try and pick up these players because I am going to put them back on the team, have to contact the owner of that team being like, hey, I get you're out, but for the integrity of the game, you cannot be dropping, Ray Rice. You can't be dropping these guys, and stuff like, you know, King Henry and whatnot. I get you're out, but you just need to sit with them on the team, set your starting lineup still, and whatnot. So things
right.
like that. Had another instance where a guy, it was a keeper league, and didn't show up, party too hard for pre-draft, and during draft day just was like a complete no call, no show. Like
Oof.
was not there. So I had to find somebody on the fly
Wow.
to fill in and get a new guy to fill in his spot and stuff like that. So got a hold of him eventually and let him know, like, yeah, dude, you're just not in the league. Like, I don't know what happened to you, but you didn't pick up the call. You didn't show up. Like, what? So,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's I mean, we've heard these kinds of stories before. That is kind of it made me think like, oh, but in a dynasty league, right? Let's say it's a completely different dynamic, right? Like what are your thoughts on if that happened in a dynasty league? How would you handle that?
Oh boy. Um, well, here's the thing with dynasty leagues. I think you have a bit more flexibility because dynasty drafts tend to be slow drafts. So I
Mm,
mean, and that's why I understand why those are done over the phone or online and whatnot. Because when you have an 8-hour shot clock or 6-hour shot clock, you really can't get together live. You know what I mean? Because uh, like that's a sounds like a monthly draft there where you kind of have to be together with your mates, and I just don't think that's feasible. Uh, but you have a bit more, I think, flexibility there, a bit more time, especially if the guy's at the later end of the draft to kind
mm,
of get in contact with him some way somehow. Um, so I would be now if you absolutely couldn't find that guy, like you would have to find a good league mate of him like a fantasy brother in a sense to be like, hey, do you mind drafting for this guy? You know what I mean? If it's a startup league, you may have to do like what I did and just find a whole nother guy to get
yeah.
in there. But if it's one that's a league that's already established and you're just drafting the rookies, I think that league mate would have to understand, like, hey, we found somebody to draft for you, and these are the end results of that draft. And if
Yeah.
they're granted, if he didn't completely, bomb him, he should be able to live with those results and kind of understand, like, we accommodated you the best way we knew how in a pinch, you know. And if you don't like it, then you kind of have to cross the bridge when you get there, and find a different avenue to go down.
Right, right. Completely agree. So let's move off of the kind of the negative questions. Let's go to something positive, right? Like you mentioned, draft day, big holiday. But what else is there? What keeps you coming back every year to commission the league for you and your buddies?
I think so. Presenting the trophy or the belt or whatever, especially when you getting together with your guys for the live draft. That is always something to kind of keep you going. As a commissioner, I try to do things like that. Make a decent presentation for the winner and stuff. Granted, when you're the one that wins it, I try not to make a big skeptical of it because it does feel a little odd to kind of pat yourself in the back there. I don't think your league mates want to see you kind of like kissing your own ass and whatnot. But
Crooked, crooked. That's
yeah, exactly. How did this fucking guy win? You know what I mean? Like, of course, he rigged it in his way. So, um, but when it's your league mates, it's other ones. Give them their flowers, give them their moment, and whatnot. Um, I do try to change it up as well. Think of fun, different ways to set your draft order. Um, I knew one of the ways I came up with is we had a kind of like a beer pong type of thing to where I wrote down everyone different draft numbers on the bottom of the cups, rearranged, like had them set up in a different order, and then everyone gets three chances to shoot. If they miss on all three chances, they get out of line. Next person up shoots. So when you do make it in the cup, you slam the beer down. Everyone gets to see what draft number you have at the bottom of the cup. You're the last one to see. So, and then whatever it is, it is. So I try to do and think of fun little ways, to set the draft order as well. I think that's important of being a good commish as well. As kind of keep it lively, keep it fun, and if there's somebody that's there that's not a drinker, because who knows, somebody likes to go there party, but isn't big into drinking or getting that turned up. Find ways to kind of incorporate them and make sure that they're having fun and enjoying themselves as well.
Right, right. That's great considerations as a commish and fun. Sounds like a fun tradition that you've got uh, for your draft. All right, moving on to some rapid fire questions because commissioners are fantasy players as well. Let's get into some football talk about this upcoming season. So, who is your QB1?
Are we talking redraft or are we talking like for dynasty?
Let's talk redraft here.
Okay, redraft.
We're
QB1.
talking who's going to be at the top of the points standings at the end of the season.
I still think you have to go with Josh Allen. Um, his rushing upside, like he's kind of a goal line vulture still in Buffalo.
Right.
I do know he has a new offensive or new head coach coming in, but I believe he was the offensive coordinator still.
Yep, Brady. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, so I mean, you shouldn't expect too much of a different game plan there. He should still get his touches at the goal line and whatnot. But it's I am a little hesitant and worried with him with as many hits that he takes. I know
Mm,
he's a big guy like Big Ben was, but I do think it's only a matter of time to where he will get rocked. And then once you get that first concussion, it is easier to kind of get the second one. So,
right.
not that I'm hoping or saying it's going to happen this year, but that is kind of the risk reward you kind of take with the guy that does like the scramble.
Right. Yeah. That could. Yeah. You hope it never happens, and let's just hope let's hope your prediction comes true. That's at least for all the Josh Allen owners out there. Who's your RB1?
Man, you're really splitting hairs. I think you're splitting hairs between Bijan and Jameer Gibbs, really.
Mhm.
Um, Especially if you're in a PPR league. I think with the absence of Tyler Algier now moving on to Arizona, Bijan doesn't have that Michael Myers type of running back, standing behind him all the time, having to worry about Algier being a goal line vulture because I know there's been plenty of times where we've seen Robinson rip off a huge run, get near the goal line, and for one reason or another, here comes Tyler, and he punches it in and kind of finishes the job. And that's one of the things that can be pretty frustrating for owners that invest highly, in someone like Bijan.
Yeah.
Um, so I do think it's a preference there. Whether you like Bijan or Gibbs, I wouldn't fault you whichever way you go there. So.
Who's your pick? Pick one.
Man,
Make the pick.
I would go with Bijan now that what do you call Algiers not there, and
Okay.
then the Lions they have plenty of weapons there, so that's not the issue. To
Mm,
where I'm thinking worried about Gibbs having to face eight in the box. It's
mm,
just they have a new offensive coordinator there. They seem like they had issues last year with Dan Campbell kind of having to change play callers or fire and kind
yeah.
of take overs and moments like that. So Gibbs is a talented guy. Nothing wrong there in that aspect. You just never know how that new offensive coordinator is going to fire that weapon, and
Oh
it,
yeah.
and it could be a misfire. So, but we'll see.
Nice. Wide receiver one.
Wide receiver one, man. If everything is going good and his QB is healthy, Jamar Chase.
Oh, of course, of course. Very
Jamar
popular
Chase.
answer. Yeah.
But I don't want to disrespect your guy there too. I think the
Oh,
guy right on his heels is JSN. Like JSN, like I wouldn't be surprised if at the end of the year he takes that mantle and he's the number one receiver. I really wouldn't because especially like I said, assuming PPR leagues, big
mhm.
threat receiver, speed kills in this league, and he gets a shit ton of catches as well.
Yeah.
Uh, I do believe he is Sam Darnold's favorite target in Seattle.
Oh yeah. I think there's concern about the play calling.
Mm.
They said the offense is going to be mostly the same, but we picked up Flurry from the 49ers. We'll see. I'd lay off of him as wide receiver one purely for that reason. But I hope you're right. I hope you're right. I hope he's still on the heels of Jamar Chase. Putting up big numbers. We'll see. Um, who is on your do not draft list?
Ooh, do not draft list. Man, let me look. Spit, can you spit some popular names out at me and I'll land on one here.
I think
I'm trying to think here.
like Metcalf has
Oh,
been
you
one.
okay?
Pittman, actually, both Steelers wide receivers have been. Alec Pierce has been a popular one that I've heard.
Okay.
Um, who else? Achan, just purely from like ooh
I
that.
think so. Yeah, I would have to say probably Achan. Um,
Okay.
I know he just got a big bag, and he's really the only weapon that Miami has there. Uh, but when you lose an offensive mind like Mike McDaniels, and he's the one that really his offensive system, thrived, giving you the rock and stuff like that. I think that's one to where you shouldn't just fill in to be like, oh, okay, yeah, he's been productive these last few years, and I should expect the same level of production from him. I think he may have a drop off there. Having a different offensive coordinator, offensive minded coach is now gone, so we shall see. I think buyer beware with the HN.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I'm staying away from him too. Um, what is your team's record this year?
My real football team or my fantasy football team?
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Sorry, I gotta clarify. What are the Bears gonna end up as?
Oh man, I okay. So I always have a best case scenario, worst case scenario, and then like more than likely this is what's going to be. So I do have our best case scenario. We end up finishing uh, 13 and what is it? 13 and 4. I think more than likely I see us finishing 11 and 6. But worst case scenario, and that means the QB is Fugazi there,
Oof.
and we get hit with a shit ton of injuries, which it happens to every team, any team, any year. You could
Yeah.
get hit with the injury bug.
Doomsday, probably. Like,
But yeah, if that does happen, I could see us having a like bad year, like a 6-11 type of season.
dang, all over the place. It'll be interesting to see
Yeah,
which
I mean,
version we get.
our division is still tough. I mean, Green Bay's still an issue. The Lions, they're still the became. I know when Dan Campbell came in there, he said that they were going to be biting kneecaps, but they're damn near taking off a whole leg now,
Yeah.
and especially with us in Chicago, they've kind of are playing the Bears, I should say. They've kind of had our number, and I think they've been 1-8 against us over the last 9 years, or I'm sorry, last few years there. So
Ah,
like, yeah, like it could go bad there, and we're playing a tougher schedule as well. So having being the number one team last year, having the first place schedule. So
oh
if
yeah.
things don't go our way, injury bug hits us, yeah, it could be an upside down season.
Yeah. The North is, I think, the most competitive division. There's no weak links in the North. Whereas the West, right, NFC West, we've got three really strong teams, but one obvious weak link. But
Yeah, that
yeah,
redheaded stepchild in Arizona over there.
yeah. Yeah. Um, who who's playing in the Super Bowl this year? Both sides.
Well, I'm hoping it's my team in the NFC that's representing. I really, really, really hope that that's the case.
Okay. Got Bears and
I got Bears and Buffalo.
okay. There you go. The
So it's
Bears.
going to be we're going to have a part two there because we play them in the later part of our season there. So and I that's one of the games I had us feeling and losing to Buffalo this season.
Ah,
So,
interesting.
but if we do see them, I do think that could be a really really good matchup. Um,
Oh yeah.
but man,
That'd be good. That'd be a good one. Everyone would be happy to see that one. While we near the end of the show, we want to, share more knowledge on how to be a credible commish. So tell us, what's your setup? Like, how do you make it so easy to run your leagues?
oh man, communication, communication, communication. So I know it's very easy to just be like, hey, our lives are busy. Everyone's lives are busy. A nice, easy way to kind of communicate with everybody. We just set up a group chat and just
Mm,
you put it on there. Everyone should see it. The dates, this, that, the fees, collection date. But like I said, everyone's lives are busy. Sometimes you put it in the group chat. You assume everyone saw it, but it gets buried because people comment and whatnot. And then next thing you know, only half of the group saw it because all the other BS comments came in. If it's a group chat like mine, it's very lively. There's a lot of BS talking and whatnot. So before you know it, that important message that you sent out is buried 50 messages deep and didn't get seen. So the communication part is not only do you put it in the group chat, but you have to send it out to your league mates individually as well. That way there
okay.
is no excuse. There is no
Communication,
excuse.
quite a theme,
Yes.
quite a common thread through all this. Um, is that going to be the answer for the next question? So, what to you makes a credible commish?
Paying on time makes a
Ah,
credible commish.
okay.
It's one of those things where people are trusting you and giving you the money, the league fees that you're holding on to all season. And I've been in part of leagues, I'm sure you have, I'm sure we all have, where there's nothing more frustrating where you win your league and you hit up your commish, be like, hey, the money should be there. Like it
Mhm.
should be in a vault sitting there. You know, would it be nice if it was collecting interest? But you know, whatever. As long as it's still there when I win. So when I say, hey, this weekend, let's meet up. I'd like to get my money and to not have your phone call picked up or your text message answered and whatnot. That gets very frustrating,
Oh yeah.
or being told, hey, I need a few weeks to pay you your winnings and whatnot. And it's like,
Mm.
shouldn't it be there? So I think that makes a credible commish, a good commish, is making sure that when the winners win, you pay them on time and you pay them in the timely fashion.
What is one league rule every commissioner should adopt?
Hmm. One league rule that everyone should adopt. Don't let someone, like, I guess, be bigger than the league kind of like kill
Mm.
the league. If there is a nuisance, there is somebody in the league that is not jiving, is not in there, just nip it in the butt, man. Rip off that freaking band-aid. Don't put up with it. Let your other league mates put up with someone who, because it only takes one bad apple to all of a sudden fester, and all of a sudden you get one person that's just like, I don't want to deal with that person because he's obnoxious or he just kills a
Mm.
buzzkill and whatever. So um, that part, just if there's someone that's not part of the group or that's not jiving, that doesn't seem like he's copacetic with everything else, don't put up with it. Don't let your league mates put up with it. Nip it in the ass. You're the commish. You can find somebody else that can take his place that will fit right in and stuff. Don't force it.
That's right. Yeah. I mean, sometimes even if sometimes you just gotta talk to the guy because sometimes they may not even know
Yeah.
they're doing that. So I agree. Nip it in the butt. Be quick about it, and move on. So um, it's been great having you. It's been great having you, Crooked Commish.
I'm telling you, I'm not that bad, man. I'm all right. I'm all right.
No, man, definitely misleading with that name, but I get it. I get where it comes from. It's a fantastic name. Tell him what you got going on. Chicago Clubhouse podcast. What you got going on, man?
Yeah, yeah. So, any Bears fans that are out there and looking to get more Bears content, I get it. There's a lot of options out there. We have a big fan base. So, but if you can't get enough, Tuesday nights at 8 Central. Check us out on YouTube and on Facebook. Chicago Clubhouse Network is the name of our show. We go for about 2 hours, talk Bears content. We interact with the chat as well. And then for fantasy players out there, if you're looking for some more of the commission's opinions and takes on football, you can find me on Wednesday nights on the same network, same time. Only go for about an hour, maybe an hour and a half, depending on the chat and kind of what's going on. Um, Kind of change the topics. I know in the off season we don't go as much because it's the off season.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
do talk dynasty mostly just because that's really the only thing you can talk in the off season.
Hmm.
But once the season starts to kick off and the redraft leagues start kicking off, we go every Wednesday night. So check us out there on Wednesday nights, Chicago Clubhouse Network on YouTube and on Facebook. I do have a co-host. He is the loudest mouth in fantasy football, and that's why we call him the mouth from the bay. So no matter what room you're in, you will hear him. So
Awesome, awesome. I'll have to check that out. Probably be on it in a few weeks, I think. Right?
yes, you
Um,
will. When the time is available for you, you will
yeah.
see this familiar face here on the Chicago House Network.
Yeah. Well, until then, appreciate you sharing your story. Every great league has a credible commissioner behind it, and you're clearly one of them. You're clearly a crooked commish. I love it. I love the origin story. Um, Man, yeah, looking forward to the season. Good luck to the Bears. And yeah, I'll see you around. Appreciate the time.
Absolutely, absolutely. Hey, honestly, you just gave me an idea. We play each other this season. We're going to have you on as a guest when the Seahawks
Ooh.
play on the main show. We love having people on. So if you're down for that too, come on the main show and talk Bear Seahawks when that comes around the corner here.
Oh yeah, let's do it. Can't wait.
Awesome. Can't wait. It's a date. It's a date. Let's do
There
it.
you go. All right, man. Peace.
Peace. Be safe.